What is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to a very special Halloween edition of the GXGamerCast, my little gaming show where once a week I just has to talk about video games, whether they're old video games that I grew up with, new video games that I'm playing today, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today is a special one. Oh baby, it is time to finally talk about Hades on this podcast. The only time, I don't think I've ever done an episode on Hades. The only time I think I talked about Hades was in my 25 favorite video games of all time list. Little spoiler right there. But I'm excited for this because Hades is legitimately one of my favorite games of all time. And you don't even know, brother, how long I have waited for this game, for how long I've waited for it to come out of early access, ignoring all the praise that it was getting and just avoiding everything Hades 2 until it finally dropped on a console that I can buy it. It finally did, and I wasn't even ready for it. That's the crazy thing. It kind of snuck up on me. I was like, oh my goodness, it is available right now on my Switch, and I went out and bought it. Why wouldn't you? It's only like, I forget how much it is, but it's like maybe $40? Probably some of the best bang for your buck out there right now. So if you're looking for a cheap game that's going to consume you for multiple tens of hours, Hades 2 is absolutely going to be doing that, and I'll explain to you why it's worth your money throughout this review. But before we get into the review, let us discuss what I've been up to over the last week or so. As I always encourage you, the viewer, the listener, let me know what y'all have been up to. It's Halloween. As you're listening to this, it may not be. It doesn't really matter, but let me know your scariest movies of all time and your scariest video games of all time. Did you dive into any scary video games and or movies this month? I absolutely did, so we'll talk about that. Not a lot of scary stuff, though, on the docket for this week. I finished off NHL Face-Off Season 2. Phenomenal show. I absolutely highly recommend any hockey fan to watch this, and even people that don't watch hockey. I think it's still worth a look to get a real, it says it in the title, an inside look at the NHL. Like, this is as in the rooms that I have ever seen, getting access to things that I've never personally seen. Now, maybe back in the old days when I had like Leafs TV or something, maybe I would see more in locker room stuff, but I don't remember it. This is very eye-opening to what NHL players are doing and the lives that they're living and the struggles that they have to deal with as NHL players. And that was one of the talking points in episode, the second to last episode, had Seth Jarvis in it, which I found rather humorous because if you didn't know, you probably don't know, but the Leafs traded away that first round draft pick to get rid of the contract of Patrick Marleau. That first round pick ended up becoming, you guessed it, Seth Jarvis. So the Leafs have a long history of trading away first round draft picks, and all those picks end up becoming amazing players. We got Scott Niedermayer, we got Roberto Luongo and Tyler Seguin and Dougie Hamilton and so many others that could have been, should have been Leafs, and I just found it a little bit humorous that they're going to put a spotlight on this guy that could have been a Toronto Maple Leaf, probably would have been a Toronto Maple Leaf, and how awesome a guy is, and so on and so forth. But even, we all deal with mental health in different ways, and even people that make a lot of money, they deal with it too. I know, it's crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? You're making all these millions of dollars. What could possibly be wrong? Well, there's a ton of pressure on these players in the NHL. Now, definitely not to the level of some other major sports out there, like soccer, where it's like literally your life is on the line sometimes. But in the NHL, there are absolutely mental struggles and hurdles that players go through. And that episode kind of showed off what goes on in the head of an NHL player, which is very interesting. They can be very hard on themselves. It can be, I'm the greatest player in the world one day. Next thing you know, they're thinking I shouldn't even be in this league. So it's a very, very mental game, especially goaltenders. I really wish we could have gotten an inside look behind a goaltender and really seen like the mental, because it's, most people say that being a goaltender, it's definitely physicality to it. You need to be in shape and all that stuff and stretchy, but it's a mental game. You got to be confident in yourself and your abilities and so on and so forth. So I would have really liked to have seen an inside look at a goaltender, and because they're generally the weirdest people in the league. So that would have been cool maybe next season. And then they finish it off with an unbelievable finale, the rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 years in a row now, Florida Panthers versus the Edmonton Oilers. And they went in depth with that series, talking about the games, and the stars of that episode, without a doubt, are Brad Marchand and frickin' Matthew Tkachuk. One player I absolutely adore, that being Matthew Tkachuk, and the other I absolutely loathe. I hate him, and that is Brad Marchand. But even this episode opened my eyes to what a likable human being that Brad Marchand is, and he has earned my respect. He's got my respect now, and you know, that's I've come a long way from my feelings toward Brad Marchand. I have nothing but respect for that player. I just watched his first return back to Boston, where he cried like a baby, and he's like, "Oh, I tried to hold it." No, you didn't. You wanted to cry. You knew you were going to cry, and you cried. It's okay. We all cry sometimes. But man, what an unbelievable episode. What an epic series it's been, and what an epic team the Florida Panthers are, man. They're on the cusp of a modern-day dynasty in the NHL, which we have not seen since the 80s. So it's been a long time since we've seen a team this dominant, especially in the playoffs. Their tactics might be very questionable, but they won at the end of the day, so it doesn't really matter. They did what they had to do to win, and other teams are learning that right now. Like my Toronto Maple Leafs, who are struggling right now in the regular season. Now, first year without Marner. And yeah, it's been a bit of a start for the Toronto Maple Leafs, especially Austin Matthews, who looks completely lost out there. And I've been saying this now for the last month or so. I think Austin Matthews is the most overrated player in the NHL. Come at me. That dude is overrated as hell. Yes, he's an amazing player, but the amount of money that he gets paid and the lackluster performances when it's game time, when it's time to show the fuck up, he just doesn't do it. Unlike other players like Vladdy Guerrero, we'll talk about that right now. Why not? So I've never really been a baseball guy. I probably should be, considering I was born in 1993, the last time the Jays won the World Series. And I remember, you know, looking through old baby stuff. I have Jays baseballs and hats and little baby clothes with Blue Jays on it. And yeah, just never really didn't have anyone in my family was a big baseball fan. So this year in particular, I have watched more baseball than I have ever in my life. And not bad. Not bad at all. I especially have been liking this playoff run, obviously, with the Jays. And I will admit it, I'm 100% bandwagon right now. I've never really rooted for the Jays, never rooted against them either, but I've never just really cared all that much until this season. This season, a special team. This team was not supposed to make the playoffs initially. They were supposed to be people were very low on the Jays coming into this year, and they have just come together, and they're a family of a team. They got guys from AAA that were playing in AAA, single A the year before, and here they are in the major leagues making a difference on this team. Everyone on the team has done something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just Vladdy out there. It's not just Springer out there doing the thing. Though, the Springer dinger, am I right? Holy fuck. That is going to go down as the biggest hit in Blue Jays history after, oh shit, I had his name. I don't remember the guy's name who hit the home run World Series winner in freaking 93, but that is going to go down as one of the biggest hits in one of the biggest home runs in Blue Jays history, the Springer dinger. And I missed it. I was so sad. I had to work that night, Game 7, but I watched like 2 or 3 innings or something on my lunch break. We were all watching it, and it was not looking good for the Jays, man. They were down 3-1. It was like the top of the 7th or something. And I was like, oh shit. Not looking good for the Jays. Their bats look quiet. Not a lot of offense getting generated. The pitching from the Mariners was looking fantastic. And then, out of nowhere, the Springer dinger happens, and boom, the Jays are up 4-3, and they win the ball game. Unbefrickin-believable. So this is a very fun team to cheer for. They have a massive mountain to climb now, trying to take down the massive LA Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. So good luck to the Blue Jays. They may have already lost or won by time you have heard this podcast. It doesn't matter. I'm rooting for the Jays. I imagine most of Canada is cheering for Canada's baseball team. And I find it very sad that there is only one baseball team in Canada. Like, what the fuck is that all about? But regardless, it makes it very fun because the whole country gets behind them. It's not just Ontario. It's not just Toronto. It's all of Canada is amped for the Jays. My homie Kyle in Calgary, they were going nuts when the Jays won Game 7. Like, it's nationwide. It's nationwide. It's a big freaking deal. So obviously I'm rooting for the Jays, and I really, really hope they win. So what else have I been watching? I finished off Season 2 of Dan to Dan. Holy crap, bro. Unbelievable. So, not that the first season was bad or anything, but the second season, whoo, baby, does it ever take it up a notch. Holy shit. Now, it might be because I was really stony baloney, got really baked, and I was watching this show. I crushed like 5 episodes in one sitting. I was so locked in, so dialed. The fight scenes are absolutely incredible. The fight scene with the old lady in the early episodes. The fights against Evil Eye. Evil Eye alone, that shit was melting my brain. It was so fucking cool. The giant kaiju fight in the season finale. Sorry if I'm spoiling it, but oh my god. Dan to Dan, some of the best fight scenes that I've seen this year. Like, unfreaking real. So good. I love the animation. I love the quirky nature of the show. Definitely took off, like, they weren't as quirky as the first season. Like, the first season, they have aliens coming down, trying to steal people's banana, their dicks, and balls and stuff. They're trying to take their reproductive organs. We're not that crazy on season 2, but a lot more action, much more badassery, and it's incredible. I would hit season 2 of Dan to Dan with a 9 out of 10. It is must watch for us anime fans out there. Can't really, if you don't like anime, then I guess you don't watch it, but you're missing out, man. Like, and don't be afraid of anime. Get stony baloney and watch some anime. It is phenomenal. So definitely check out Dan to Dan season 2. It's on Netflix, so check it out. And then, in terms of video games, still playing Hades 2. As of this moment of me recording this, I'm like over 35 hours put into the game. I've defeated one of the 2 final bosses, and I feel like I have enough notes and everything to make a judgment on this game. Maybe not a final judgment, but I'll definitely be scoring this game today and letting you know. So still playing Hades, and I plan on playing it for much more than 35 hours. I have a lot more that I can do, and more I want to find out. So I'm not done with that game. Not even close. Not just yet. And then, of course, still playing Battlefield 6. Playing a ton of Battlefield over the last week. Especially crushing it on the weekends with the homies. Like, we're all getting online. It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely getting that gamer rage, like the same that I get when I play Call of Duty. Like, oh, terrible spawn. Oh, I shot you first, bro. Like, how'd you kill me? Like, I'm definitely getting that. I'm a competitive guy. I don't like to lose, so I will get angry when things aren't going my way in Battlefield, but I'm not breaking my controller, I'm not smashing it, I'm not rage quitting, but I definitely get to a burnout point where you're like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I played 2-3 hours, I'm getting burned out. But man, we had some sessions there that were like 5 hours, 6 hours, so like, I'm in on Battlefield, man. It's a lot of fun. Still trying out some new game modes, like homie Kyle and I got into a bot lobby where you can just play against the computers, just so we can get a feel for the vehicles, because I can never get into a vehicle online. People always get into them first. So I just wanted to play around with some of the vehicles and see what was up. But other than that, man, still very much so enjoying Battlefield, the multiplayer. There's still some kinks in it. Like, for example, when we get into a party of 4 people, every time we go into a game, like, one of us, 2 of us, 3 of us don't make it into the lobby, so we gotta like go all the way back, pick everybody back up, go back into the lobby, search for a game, hope that everybody gets in, and we're still having that issue like 3-4 weeks now after launch. Like, this is getting a little ridiculous. I hope they can fix it, because it's really annoying. Like, it's actually very fast paced from one game to the next. Like, all right, game over. You got like 15 seconds and we're into the next one. But when you lose half your party and you got to go back, it takes like 5 minutes. So I really wish we can get some good momentum and just continue into the next game, into the next game, into the next game. That would be great. But other than that, really enjoying myself some Battlefield, and a big, not a purchase, but a big download this week. An almost purchase and an almost mistake. So after I played Silent Hill 2, I really wanted to play the remake version of it. And I saw it on sale recently for like, I don't know, $45, $50, something like that. And I was like, that's a reasonable price, for a game that I really, really want to play. Thank goodness I checked the news out there in the video game world, and it just so happens that Silent Hill 2 Remastered is available for free on the PS Plus. So if you have that, you have access to the newest Silent Hill game. Well, no, that's not true. Not the newest one, because Silent Hill F exists. But the most recent remake of Silent Hill 2. So that is a big deal for me. That was a big one on my hit list that I really, really wanted, and I was about to buy it. So that saved me like $50. So that's awesome. Thank you, PlayStation, for that. And at some point, I want to do kind of a breakdown of PS Plus and talk about, is it worth your money? What stuff I would like to see added to it, so on and so forth. And could it actually compete against Xbox Game Pass, which is quite the mighty task, because there's a major thing that Xbox Game Pass does that PlayStation doesn't do, and that's day one exclusives. So if PlayStation could start doing that, that would be so sick. But their rule of thumb is generally like a year or two after release, they will release the game. So for example, Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotai just released, and I would say it would probably be about a year and a half, 2 years before we see that game drop on PS Plus, which is unfortunate. I really want to play it. I was talking to a guy at work who I heard played it, and I was like, yo, did you like it? He's like, I fucking loved it. It was amazing. It was just as good as Tsushima, if not a little bit better, and so on. I heard all great things. Now, it's not the highest score on Metacritic. It's like an 86. Still great. A great score for a video game. I was hoping for 90s, somewhere in the 90s. That would have been great, but I am not mad at an 86 on Metacritic. That's a great score for a great game. Now, I'm personally waiting for the Legends mode to drop and see how that goes. See what their decision is on DLC, because it's still apparently up in the air if they're going to have DLC for the game or not. Apparently, it's been selling really well, so I would think probably going to be getting some DLC, and you're definitely going to get that Legends mode, the multiplayer mode, which I really enjoyed in Tsushima, so I'm excited, man. Lots of stuff out there, but that's all I've been playing, that's all I've been doing, so let's stop hesitating. Let's get into it, y'all. We're reviewing Hades 2 on the original Nintendo Switch. I don't have a Switch 2 yet, so I'm fine. Oh baby, let's get into it, y'all. This is Hades 2, the sequel to the smash hit Hades by one of my favorite game developers out there right now. They have literally batting 1,000 right now. I've not played all of their games, but I played most of them, and they've all been some of my favorite games of the year that I played them, and that is Supergiant. Supergiant is on top of the freaking indie world right now, man. They are slaughtering. Seriously, you could play any one of their games. You're going to freaking love them. They're an amazing game developer. One of my favorites, and like I said, now, whenever they release anything, I'm there. Absolutely. And their games are so affordable, man. Like, you can... Hades, if you haven't played Hades, the OG yet, I 100% recommend you go play it, because it is definitely worth playing still. It is still incredibly fun. I might even like it more than Hades 2. I don't know. It's been a while since I played Hades 1. But if you want to play it and you have Xbox Game Pass, it's on there. It's also available for a very reasonable price. I think you can get it for under $30, probably cheaper on sale and stuff like that. It's older. I can't remember what year Hades came out, the first one, but it was quite a few years ago now, and Hades 2 has been available to play on PC for quite some time in early access. Like I said, didn't want to look up any of that at all, so I don't know anything about it. I know the game changed over that course of time that it was available on PC, but oh well. I wanted to wait until the game was released in full, and yeah, that took a while, man. Like, I had to hear Kind of Funny talking about it all last year. They even put it in their Game of the Year awards, because they played so much of it, and it was basically done, so they're like, this is pretty much the game. So I was disappointed that it took so long for it to finally release, but hey, you wait for good things. Good things are worth the wait, and Hades 2 was absolutely worth the wait. This time around, you are not playing as Zagreus, the male character in the first game. This time, you're a female, Melenoe, who is also a fantastic character. I will admit, she doesn't have quite the charm that Zagreus does. He is a very charming man, and I really like him, but Melenoe is really cool. She's just a fantastic character. She's the daughter of Hades, and the sister of Zagreus, obviously, but you don't know anything about her. Like, I don't think we heard anything about Melenoe in the first Hades, so she is a fully new character. She doesn't really play all that different. It's very similar to Hades 1. I think the only new thing really that they added is a sprint. Melenoe can run. She can just run in a straight line. I can't remember if Zagreus can run. That just kind of feels different to me, so I think it's new. Regardless, this time around, you're not trying to stop your father Hades. You're actually trying to save him from Kronos, his father, which is awesome. So Kronos, the Titan of Time, he has taken your friends and family and locked them away in chains and frozen them in time, and it is just a bad situation. So you want to figure that out. You got to stop Kronos, but how do you stop time? Time is ever going. It's unstoppable, right? Oh, you're going to have to play Hades 2 to find out. But as in the first game, the gods of Olympus are aiding you in your journey throughout Tartarus, I think it's called, I don't know, the underworld and the upper world, the upstairs. You're going upstairs and downstairs in this game. So very cool. So I love just, Greek lore and mythology and all the gods and Hermes and the stories and Hercules and, it's actually how the fuck I don't know. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. His name's not actually Hercules. It's something else. It's very close to Hercules, but it's not that. Regardless, you got a lot of returning characters here, a few new ones, and some characters that are missing. I'm going to kind of just leave that alone. Don't want to spoil anything too much right there. This will be a spoiler-free review as far as I can tell. If I do spoil anything, my most sincere apologies. All right, so let's get into the categories here. We're going to talk about the graphics, the sound design, some of the characters. Going to be talking about the gameplay, of course, and of course we'll break down, is this game worth your money? A pretty simple answer, yes, it's absolutely worth your money, but I'll explain why in full detail. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the graphics. So, I will admit, the first Hades, the art style didn't appeal to me initially, but it definitely grew on me. I remember initially buying it, and I started playing, I'm like, oh, this really is a step down from AAA, but not really. It really isn't. It's just a different art style. It's colorful. It's almost like a watercolor painting at times. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot more detail this time around in Hades 2. They've added more animations. There's more shit going on in the background. And like I said, I am playing this on Switch 1. I've had zero problems with it on Switch 1. Zero problems with it running. No fucking frame rate drops. No glitching. No nothing. It's been smooth as butter. Now, there might be some loading screens that are a little bit longer than it would be on Switch 2, and of course PC, there's probably zero loading for anything, but I am completely fine with playing it on Switch 1. I'm completely smitten. I didn't need to go out and blow $1,000 on a Switch 2 so I can play it a little bit faster. It's not a must-buy, type of game for your Switch 2. If you have a Switch 2, great. You can... So actually, the really cool thing is, if you buy Hades 2 on Switch 1, you get the Switch 2 version as well. So one day, if I do get a Switch 2, I'll have Hades on Switch 2, and I can play it there as well. So that's really cool. Even more bang for your buck right there. You're getting two versions of the game, even though they're identical. It doesn't really matter. It's just so as you know. So if you have a Switch 1 and 2, you can have them on both. So it's cool, and they both, as far as I could tell and heard, they both run great on Switch 2, so zero problems there. In terms of locations, you're going to quite a few locations. I think there's 4 upstairs and 4 downstairs, so you kind of have like an area you're going through. You'll go through like 5 levels of that, and then you'll fight a boss, and then you'll go into the next area. These areas are fun. I, again, feel like I preferred the areas in Hades 2. It's not that these ones aren't fun, it's just... There's only one area that I don't particularly love, and that's the Morning Fields. It's the 3rd area when you go downstairs, and that's where you fight a particular returning enemy as the boss fight. You will be very pleased when you see who it is. It's very awesome and very cute, and I was like, oh my god, I was freaking out. I was having a moment right there. I was having a gamer moment. But lots of different areas you're going to. They all, there's like a water area. There's like an under the Morning Fields, which is kind of like a what hell rolling fields would look like in hell, I would imagine, something like that. Then you got this, like, when you get really down there, it's like all these gears and like clocks and weird shit like that. Very cool, very sparkly, lots of color, tons of color to this game. There must be every darn color in the rainbow in this game. It's just very, very colorful, very detailed, like I said. Lots of enemies on the screen, and like I said, no performance issues whatsoever for me. There may have been one time, there's a particular enemy in the water area where they're very tiny, annoying son of a bitches. I fucking hate them. They're so annoying because there's so many of them. They're hard to deal with, and they're fast. But sometimes there was a whole assload of them. I feel like maybe there's an itty-bitty slowdown right there just for a millisecond or so, but again, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. If you're on the fence about buying Hades 2 on your Switch 1, get off the fence and just go buy it. It is absolutely delightful. So, and there's a lot of good variety in enemies, like I talked about. They have the water creatures, they got fucking clock creatures. They do have a couple of reoccurring ones from the old game, but I actually really enjoyed that because they're in a different area this time. And I was like, oh, I remember these guys. They used to be all over in the first game. They were annoying and like, yeah, annoying in like not a bad way. Like they're not poorly designed. They're all like really well balanced. They all have like different, some of them shoot projectiles at you. Some of them like to get close to you. There's one enemy that really annoys me. He's like a boxer almost, and he just starts punching like crazy, and he goes really, really fast, and he chases after you. That guy can go to hell. Dudes with shields, they have shields that can block your attacks and shit like that. There's a lot of variety in enemies, and you have to pay attention. You got to pay attention to what you're fighting so you know how to deal with them, how close you want to engage them. Do you want to stay back? Do you want to move in on these guys? Do you want to use your special attack, use your regular attacks, so on and so forth? So good variety in enemies, and I really enjoy the bosses. The boss, especially in the water area, Scylla and her band. Oh, buddy, that is just a delightful boss fight. I love it every single time. All the boss fights are really fun. Yeah, they're just delightful. I like the design of the enemies. It's a great looking game, and it runs great. So yeah, everything is looking good here in terms of performance and graphics. Fantastic. Now we move to sound design. We'll talk about some of the characters here as well. The soundtrack is fan-fucking-tastic. It may not be the most catchy all the time. There's definitely some jams that, like, the one that I played at the beginning is, like, kind of ingrained in me because I started playing this game over, and I'm playing it over and over again. You hear the song. It's awesome. I especially, like I said, love there's, like, the metal tracks that play when you're fighting the Scylla boss. There's even a few songs she's sang me like 3 or 4 songs now, and each one of them's been fantastic. One's about ripping out your eyeballs and like feeding them to you or some shit. It's pretty great, and the more you fight her, the more you can kind of focus in on the lyrics, and they're fantastic. The lyrics are hilarious. The music is awesome. I definitely want to listen to the original soundtrack and just be like, man, because, you know, when you're playing this kind of game, it's very gameplay focused. You get dialed the fuck in, and you're not always paying attention to the music. Honestly, recently, I've been putting in podcasts playing this game, so I've gone through it so many times now. I'm pretty familiar with everything, and I'm really good at, like, listening into important parts and kind of tuning out the podcast, and vice versa. When I'm just doing gameplay, I can focus on my podcast. When I'm doing story stuff, I focus on the game. So it's actually a great podcasting game when you're doing runs. Like, it is just delightful. Very good. I would recommend just one earbud. Don't put in both, because there's a lot of good banter going on in this game. One of my favorite parts of this game is all the banter that you have with the gods and all the fucking goddesses and all this shit. It is awesome. And the best thing about it is that it's not just the same fucking jargon, like, oh, hello, how are you? Oh, and then you go see them again. Hello, how are you? No, legitimately, they have something different to say every single time you talk to one of them. They'll have an explanation point above their head, which is pretty much every run you do. They're going to have something new to say because they keep up to date with everything that you do. Say, I just recently beat the final boss. Everyone's talking about it. They're like, oh, great job doing that. You fucking, it was hard. Oh, I wish I could do that. You're so amazing. I'm like, oh, this is so relevant to the game that I'm playing right. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best parts. It's one of the more rewarding parts of going through a run outside of beating a run is, well, now I at least get to go talk to everybody and hear all the new stories and all the weird things they're going to say. It's awesome. I freaking love it. Characters are excellent in this game. I especially have to shout out, Scylla, obviously. She's like a giant clam, and I don't know what kind of accent she has. I can't tell, even as a Canadian, is that a Canadian accent or is that more of a Minnesotan accent? But she's got this accent. She's like, hey, lady, like, what are you talking about? She sounds like a Minnesotan Canadian person, like maybe someone from Canada that moved to Minnesota and like mixed those two accents together. Fucking love it. And then Dora the freaking ghost. So she's like kind of like your ghost friend. There's like other ghosts, but they don't really do anything outside of like, you know, maybe a kudos and a thumbs up or whatever. Actually, it's really cool when you check out the dead people. It'll say like how they died. Like one person, I died from a snake bite, or I died from hunger or something like that. And other ones will be like what they wished for or something like. It doesn't matter. But regardless, the characters are fantastic. Dora is like this very aware ghost. She's always bringing up the bad aspects of being a ghost, like, oh, I can't sleep, and like, oh, I can't walk, I have no fucking legs, and shit like that. So she's really entertaining to talk to, and she's a good she will help you decorate the underworld layer that you have. Every time you finish a run, you'll come back to your lair and you can interact with all the people around and shit like that. It is just delightful. And like I said, the best part is how up to date they are. They're not talking about irrelevant things. They're always talking about very relevant stuff. I love it. There's one character that is there in the lair with you that you actually fight. Well, there's a few of them actually, but there's some that you need to fight and others that are fighting you because they're being dicks. But anyway, when you beat them, you go talk to them. They're like, oh, you got the better of me that time. Or when they beat you, they're like, haha, I beat your ass. Fuck you. You suck. All that stuff. So it's absolutely sensational. Love that. And the voice acting is excellent. Absolutely excellent. I love everyone's just so delightful to talk to. You want to talk to everybody. Like, I am not that kind of gamer. Like, I'm playing a big open world game and there's like people all over the place. I'm like, you probably don't have anything cool to say, or like, I don't really care. I don't bother with it. But in Hades, I talk to everybody. I am demanding more talking. I'm like, I want to hear more stories. I want to hear you praise me. I just want to hear about the gods and stuff like that. It's really freaking cool. I love it. So that's awesome. And also one thing that was really cool, Artemis, she is like the goddess of the hunt. She will appear. There are some characters that just randomly appear every once in a while for a little visit. They're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Charon, the boatman from the first game, he's back. And he's doing the same thing. He's just selling you shit. But he'll come by, visit, say, to you, and all that, because he can't talk. That's all. He just does guttural sounds. But regardless, Artemis came. And when Artemis comes to visit, she sings a song. And it was literally so just intoxicating, I fell asleep. She lulled me to sleep. Not because the game was boring, but you can sit there and join her in singing, and then you're singing in perfect harmony with Artemis and this beautiful song that you're singing, and I literally fell asleep. And I was just so at peace, and I was just like, I'm so comfy, and I literally fell asleep. It was wild. I woke up and I was like, did that seriously just happen right here? Like, that was such a beautiful song that it lulled me to sleep, like in a beautiful little nap. It was amazing. I freaking love it. The music is amazing. The voice acting's amazing. The characters are amazing. It's just awesome. It's freaking excellent. I highly recommend, if you're going to check out any of the music, check out the Scylla songs. I don't know the name of them, but one I think is called I'm Gonna Tear Your Eyes Out, or something along those lines. Anyway, check it out. The music is bumping. Alright, so that pretty much finishes off that stuff. Let's get to the bread and butter, and that is the gameplay of Hades 2. Holy crap. So, pretty ridiculous that we're this far in. I haven't mentioned what type of game this is, but you probably already know it's a roguelike dungeon crawler, and your goal is you're trying to make it to the very bottom, defeat the boss, or the very top, and defeat that boss. And well, who knows how many times you got to do it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I haven't finished that many. At this point, I've done 5 or 6 successful runs now. I'm up to like in and around 50 tries now. It took me about 36 attempts to finally beat the final boss. But the gameplay is so addicting that all you want to do is another run. And a full run does not take that long. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes, give or take, to do a full run through a whole, if you do the whole thing, like beat the final boss. I was clocking in around 20. I had 23 minutes was the longest one, but that's pretty freaking, that's what you want out of a roguelike, that the runs aren't too long, they're not too short. I think 20 minutes upwards to 30 minutes is pushing it, but that's the sweet spot, and Hades absolutely nails that. So what is a roguelike game, you might be asking? Well, it's a game where you're essentially meant to die numerous times, slowly build up your strength, going through different runs and taking different opportunities, taking different routes, trying different equipment, trying different boons and perks, and oh, there's so much. It is so addicting. So you will start your run, you choose your weapon, you only have access to the one weapon at first, but there's up to 6 weapons that you can unlock, and you'll get them pretty quickly, except for the last one. It took me a while to get the last weapon, but they all play a little bit differently. So you have the staff, which is just like a spear, decent range, decent power. You got some knife things, which are really fast, close combat type weapons. You have like these staves that are far range. You can shoot projectiles from distance. You have a giant battle axe, which is very powerful but very slow. You have other, I won't spoil all the weapons, but that's like kind of the main ones that you're going to see really quickly that aren't that amazing and special. They're really fun though. Every weapon's fun and they're different in their use. So you pick one of the weapons, you pick which direction you want to go. At first, you can only go downward, but eventually you can go upward. And your goal, like I said, is to reach the very bottom, defeat the boss, or go to the very top and defeat the boss. So each room you enter will have, once you defeat there'll be a room full of enemies. You defeat all the enemies, then you get to make a decision. And this is the addicting part of the game, because every run is different. You're getting different equipment. You're getting different stuff every single time. So, for example, you'll get a decision. You got 2 doors to pick. One might have health. One might have a boon. So a boon is basically a perk that you get from the gods. And it'll be a randomized one from any of the dozen gods there is in this game. You can get one from Zeus. You can get one from Poseidon. You can get one from Apollo. You can get one from Hermes. Thing is, you only get one thing per door. So you can't choose them both. So you have to make a decision. And that comes into the strategy. It's like, I don't have very much health. Should I go for the health and increase my health? Or I don't have very much magic. Should I go for the magic and just get some extra magic and help my magic attacks and so on and so forth? Or do I want to get a boon to give myself an extra perk? Because the more perks, the merrier, but you can also power them up. Maybe I want to pick the power up thing so I can power up my boons, make myself more strong. You can pick coins like money. You have currency because Charon is out there. And you can pick a Charon room and go into it's like a store, and you'll have up to 3 items you can choose from, random items that can increase your health, restore your health, give you a random boon, he can give you anything. And as long as you have the money to pay for it, it's all yours. So that is the most addicting part of the game, is figuring out the best strategy, the best build for each weapon, because like I said, every weapon's different. So some of them you want to focus on staying away from your enemies. So you may not want to have something that's like, this particular god is like, the one I like the most is Demetrius. She is the goddess of seasons, and her special power is freezing enemies, which is extremely useful. So say you get hers, and whenever you pick a boon from one of the gods, there's another choice to be made. You can choose one of 3 perks. So I pick Artemis. She's got 3 choices for me. Like, you can power up your attack, power up your special attack, or you get a random perk like, you move faster you move 15% faster, and they all come in different rarities. You have common, you have like rare, epic, and then heroic is the highest one. So as the game's going, you start off with basic stuff. You're getting basic abilities, basic stuff. As you're going on, you're getting stronger, you're unlocking things, you're getting better boons, you're getting better perks, you're getting better everything. So this all moves along nice and perfectly slowly. Like, you're getting constantly rewarded, you're constantly getting a little bit stronger, you're constantly gaining resources to make the game easier, slowly but surely. At the beginning, you're going to get your ass kicked. You're not going to make it very far in your run. You might not even make it to the first boss on your first run. You might get destroyed on the fucking second dungeon that you enter, because it's not the easiest game in the world, and they're not supposed to be. Your roguelike is supposed to be hard. Not impossibly hard, but it's got to have a challenge to it, or there's no point doing run after run after run. It's supposed to be challenging, and Hades 2 is challenging. Is it the hardest game in the world? No, it's not. Like, I'm at the point now where I am just kicking the final boss's ass. I'm going down there. I've beaten him 5 times in a row now. I'm just whooping ass. And the game will introduce new mechanics as you're going along. The pacing in Hades 2 is fucking perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You're getting just the right amount of increases every run that every run you feel a little bit more powerful. You're getting a little bit further. You're getting a little bit better. You're getting every run is just a little bit better than the last one. And the pacing on that is phenomenal. I can't get over that. So love the pacing. You can also develop relationships with all the gods. Everybody that you meet, you can pretty much establish a relationship with all of them by giving them ambrosia, which is like a really special drink that the gods drink. And then you have, it's called nectar. Ambrosia is the more fancy version. It's like a deluxe version of nectar. You can give that to special friends once you unlock a certain level. But everyone has like certain criteria to unlock certain things. So every time you give any god a nectar for the first time, they'll give you a keepsake. And a keepsake is basically an extra perk that you can pick at the beginning of the run, and you can change them out as each level you go down to. So level 1, you can pick a keepsake. You can keep it going if it's still working, or you can change it out for a different one every level you defeat. You can change it out. So some of these include, my favorites are the onion. The onion will restore a certain amount of health every dungeon room you enter. So say I have 100 health, I lost 10 health, and when I enter that door, the onion's going to recover 10 health. It starts out like it can only recover like 50 at first, then you can upgrade them the more you use it. So it's like, all right, this keepsake, you need to do 25 encounters, then it'll upgrade to level 2, then 40 encounters, then it'll upgrade to the max level 3. And each time it gets more powerful. So the onion, by level 3, it will restore up to 100 health, and then it expires. So once you're done with the onion, you might as well change out the keepsake. So what I like to do, I start out with one of the gods' boons, or one of the gods' keepsakes, then it'll give me a boon. So me personally, I chose Demeter, got friendly with her really quick. She gave me her keepsake. Then I started using her keepsake to start every run so that I can get her power that I really like, freezing enemies. You can do that with anyone. I've been doing it with Zeus lately because he also has very good powers. He has lightning bolts that can fuck people up. He's got tons of different types of lightning moves. Like I shit you not, each god has about, give or take, 15 to 20 abilities you can choose from, and it's going to take you a while to experiment with all of them, because some you might really like, some you might choose over and over again, some you're like, oh, no, not for this run, I don't need that, or you just don't, maybe not sure what it does yet, or how effective it can be used. So you're going to find combinations that work really well. You're going to find things that don't work well with certain weapons, but each god has a huge list of different boons to choose from. The fun part is you get to choose one of 3 every time you get one. So it takes a while. I've completed a few of the gods. Like, I've used all of their boons, tried out everything, and of course you're getting rewarded for that as well. You're getting rewarded for everything. It is amazing. And throughout all the dungeons, not in every single dungeon, but every once in a while you'll find some resources, rather it be like marble or copper, metal, silver. You can catch fish, lots of fish to catch. You can trade those in for extra bones and stuff. Bones is basically currency. You can spend that on nectar. Other things we'll talk about in a little bit, but you're collecting resources that can upgrade your abilities, or buy resources like bones. Like I said, that's money. You got shades, which is used to upgrade your Arcana cards. We'll talk about Arcana cards in a moment. But these resources are great because they're constantly being used to upgrade rather your weapons. You can go to the cauldron in the main area, and you can like fucking make shit in the cauldron to make your runs easier. Like, you can fucking concoct something in the cauldron that all of a sudden now there's like these magical rooms that you'll get into every once in a while on your run that just has a fountain in it that you can heal. So very beneficial things to create with the resources. That is great. And there's tons of them. There's so many things that you can make to make your runs easier. So, and they're constantly updating it. Like almost every other run, every third run, I'll go to the cauldron. There's something new there that I can make. So constantly everything that I'm collecting, even though at times I feel like I'm like, oh, I got like 30 of this. Like, when am I ever going to use it? Trust me, you're going to use it at some point. You can collect flowers. You can collect, what else can you collect? That's pretty much it. Like flowers, rocks, and fucking gems, and minerals, and all that shit. Fish. Yeah, lots of stuff to collect, and it's really fun. It'll generally point you out to it, because the dungeons can be very big at times, especially in the morning fields. They can get quite large, and you can get lost in there. They have directional things. It'll have a loud ding, like ding, and it'll literally take you right to the resource in case you miss it. So they're pretty much unmissable. And you're using a variety of Arcana cards. So let's talk about these Arcana cards. You'll get Psych. The more you're getting Psych, it's just another thing that you're collecting along the way. And you use that to upgrade the amount of cards you can use. So say it costs 50 Psych to upgrade your Arcana. Now you can have up to 5 slots in your Arcana. And each Arcana card takes a certain amount of points. So you have cards from 0 to 5. So some of them take 5 Psych. Some of them take 0 Psych, but there might be a certain thing you have to do, like activate all the cards around it. use cards from 0 to 5, then it'll unlock this card to use. It's very cool, and they offer up very interesting perks. Some of the really cool ones, you have Death Defiance. You can increase that, and Death Defiance is arguably the most useful thing in the game. You can die and come back to life and continue your run. And you can have multiple Death Defiances. Like, I think the most I have is 5, because so you want to have Death Defiance, I think you only get 1 at the beginning. You might not even have 1. But eventually you'll get 1, then you can upgrade your card, you'll get 2, upgrade your card, you'll get 3, you get this other thing, then you have 4, and you can buy them on your runs, like Charon will sell it at as well. Sometimes you can replenish your Death Defiance, it's amazing. Other cards will, like the lower end ones, like a 1 card is like, oh, you recover 5 health every door you go through. Very, very useful. Like, yeah, I want to recover health every door I go through. And some of them are like, oh, you're 10% faster in your binding circle. That's one of your attacks. So you have 3 main attacks. You have your attack, which is just attacking with the weapon. You have your special attack, and then you have the binding circle. And the circle is useful. It can slow enemies down. Depends which boon you have attached to it. You can attach a boon to it, give it a special power. It shoots water out of it. It freezes anybody that's in the circle. It fucking lights everyone on fire that's in the circle. The circle can get bigger and just kind of capture things inside of it. So it's very useful to use your binding circle. Me personally, I'm definitely spamming my attack more than anything. I rarely use the special. I'll use it every now and again. It's just it's not as strong as your attack most of the time. And yeah, I just find my attacks have been better. That's just how I play. But you have your special attacks. They're fun. For example, when you're using the axe, your attack is slower. It's like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And then your special attack is like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. So you can use that as a strategy. It's like, all right, I have a big slow weapon with big powerful attacks, but if I'm overwhelmed and I have a lot of enemies around me, I'll use my slightly weaker but faster attacks. So it's very useful. And then the binding circle is the same every time. It just depends what boon you have attached to it. It's just a circle. Enemies can go inside of it. You can do more damage to them. They can go slower. Tons of things you can do. Like, there's so much different runs and different strategies you can put into this game. It's just sensational. That's why every run is different. You're never going to have a run that is the same as another run. There are so many combinations. It is absolutely freaking insane. And you can upgrade the cards. Like I said, you got to get Moon Dust, I think it's called. You can, again, another thing that you can acquire throughout the game. Not a big deal. And then once you get further in the game, you'll get to check off challenges. You'll have this big list of challenges, and it has a bunch of challenges like using all the weapons, unlocking all the weapons. You can defeat certain amount of enemies, defeat certain bosses a certain type of way, and each one of those is earning you rewards as well. Mostly just money, bones, whatever you want to call it. And then, this is new, you can recruit animal companions to aid you on your journey. So there are 3 of them, and each one does a different thing. Personally, I always use the second one because it gives me an extra Death Defiance, which the other 2, it just doesn't stack up. The other 2 have good perks as well, but an extra Death Defiance is an extra Death Defiance. That's insane, especially early game when you're dying all the time and you suck and you're learning it and you're trying to figure out ways to get through this game. An extra Death Defiance is a big freaking deal. So you're going through, you're checking off things on the list, and it makes you want to use different boons. You're getting rewarded for using all the different boons for Zeus and Hades or Hermes and Apollo and all those guys. So there's a lot of challenge. You can spend 100+ hours trying to finish all the challenges in this game, and they're really, really fun. They're excellent. And then another new thing is the Blackstone, which provides challenge runs with preset loadouts, and you complete those for epic rewards. So it's like, all right, you're using the axe with these boons, and you're going to go through this area, and you got to defeat this boss with these boons, and it's very fun. It actually opens up, it made me realize how awesome Zeus's attacks can be and how awesome his boons are when you get the right ones combined, because you can have your main attack doing a lightning strike, And then that lightning can bounce to other enemies. Then it'll put a fucking storm cloud over them and do like more damage. And then like a lightning ball will be floating around doing extra lightning damage. And whenever they're in my binding circle, they're getting hit by lightning bolts. Whenever I get hit, they get hit by a lightning bolt. Like, it's insane. Like, I felt so powerful. It was very, very satisfying. And then when you get to the late game, just like in Hades 1, you'll get to take the oath, which will make the runs even harder, believe it or not. Just when you think the game couldn't get any more challenging, you can actually, once you get to the level that I'm at, where I'm kicking the shit out of the final boss with pretty much, I won't say ease, but I'm consistently defeating the final boss with multiple different weapons. Now you can challenge yourself, where it's like, you can choose from a list and you can turn up the intensity. So like one example is there's 20% more enemies. Level 1, level 2, there's 40% more enemies. Level 3, there's 60% more enemies. You can have it. Enemies have more armor. You can have, one that I like is that different enemies will show up in different areas. So like area 2 enemies will show up in area 1, area 3 will show up in area 2, so on and so forth. You can make yourself weaker. You can make your enemies more powerful just to give yourself more challenging of a run. And you get fear points for that. I will admit, at this point, I don't 100% know what those do. I imagine they'll give me some great upgrades and I can buy some great resources with them. But I've only done one successful run with that stuff on. And personally, my favorite weapon, I'll just throw that out there right now, is the staves. The 2 staves that you hold in your hand, you can shoot projectiles out. That is by far my best weapon. I play the best far away from my enemies. And just staying away from the danger, playing very defensively, that's what I would recommend you do. Another one I'm actually getting quite good at is the axe now. I wasn't using the axe at all very much. Every time you start a run, there'll be a particular weapon that's like highlighted. You can get extra resources if you use that weapon on that run. So I've just been doing that. And the axe was never getting chosen, to the point that I just had to choose the axe myself, because I'm like, it's been like 13 runs and I still haven't gotten a chance to use the axe yet. So started using the axe and it's actually really good. It's good close and decently far away. It's got some range on it. And one of the best boons you can find is like it's like this hammer. And the hammer can fundamentally change how your weapon is operating. For example, I was using the axe. I found that boon. I used the hammer and it's like, it takes away the first 2 parts of your 3 attack combo and it's only the big slam down attack. Turns out that was fucking terrible because it made me slow as molasses and I was getting hit like crazy. But my attack was always a big overhand swing that did big damage. So like you can fundamentally change, like sometimes it'll shoot 2 projectiles. It is one of that's probably the funnest boon to find because it can really change how you're playing that run, for better or for worse sometimes. So that one's really cool. There's a ton to do in this game, man. There's so much to do, so much to unlock, so many challenges to accomplish, so many weapons to master. I mean, only 6, but that's a good amount of weapons, man. I think that's the same amount of weapons that they had in Hades 1. One thing I really would have wished for is that they gave me access to the first game's weapons, because I love those weapons, man. I miss them. I miss the gun. I miss the gauntlets. Like, oh, man. I just want to play with the old set of weapons as well. Maybe that's a feature later in the game. That would be amazing. But, damn, dude, the gameplay is immaculate. The pacing is perfect for a roguelike game. You're just constantly getting rewarded, constantly getting stronger. I never once felt like I was down and out. Like, oh, this is way too hard. Like, no, I always felt encouraged because I'm constantly just leveling up. Not really leveling up, but I'm getting new resources. I'm unlocking new things, getting stronger, getting faster. My boons are getting stronger. My weapons are getting stronger, but just a little bit at a time, just a little bit at a time. But each run, you're going to get a little bit further and you're going to get a little bit more addicted each and every time. So I love this game so freaking much. Let's try and talk about the cons and the pros of this game. Cons, I got nothing. The only thing I can bring up is that Milena Way isn't as likable of a main character as Zagreus was. Not that she's bad, she's fantastic as well. It's just that I like Zagreus better. Overall, I still feel like, if you want to call it a negative, it's not to me, but because Hades is pretty much a perfect video game in my eyes, the fact that it's basically more of Hades 1, it's just now you're a different character, you got some different weapons, you're in different dungeons, it feels like a really, really, really awesome DLC. Pretty much exactly what I was asking for when I was done with Hades. I'm like, man, I just want a new character to play as. I want more weapons. I want new dungeons. That's exactly what Hades 2 is. It is the perfect DLC, and it's not asking for AAA brand new video game money. It's asking for $35-$40. So I can't really call them negatives because I don't see them as negatives, but I can understand other people that say it is because, yeah, it's pretty much Hades 1.5, but the best 1.5 ever. It's like one of the best DLCs you can get. That isn't a DLC. It's a full game. You're going to get numerous hours out of it. Where I'm at right now, about 36, 37 hours in, and I still got quite a bit more to go. For example, I put in about 100 hours into Hades 1, and there was still more to do. So this is a 100+ hour game if you want it to be. It can be as little as a 20-hour game if you want to just defeat the final boss and be done with it, but very unlikely that you're going to be done with it after defeating the final boss. You're probably going to want to continue the story because it's very compelling. All I'll tell you is that when you defeat the final boss, you get a little piece of the story. You get a little piece every single time you win, and it just makes you want to go through it again and win and get another piece of that story, get a little further in the story. So it's very, very addicting that way. I just want to do another run and another run and another run, talk to the characters and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much all I can bring up for negatives. Positive-wise, I mean, geez, you name it. Awesome characters and voice acting, super rewarding pacing, damn, if not perfect pacing for a roguelike video game. Addicting gameplay, fantastic soundtrack, beautiful art style, and tons of replayability. Like, this game is, you can literally play it for the rest of your life. If I was stranded on an island and I could choose 5 video games, Hades is going to be one of them because it is endless. It's so much fun. It's just one of the best video games out on the market right now. If I had to score it today, which I am, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. It is as close to perfect as it can be. My only drawbacks is that I don't like Melinoe as much as Zagreus, and I wish I had access to the previous game's weapons. That would be sick. Now, it can change. I can change the score to a perfect 10 if I see fit, and I will update that when I do inevitably roll credits on this game. But, oh my goodness, if you have not played Hades, get out there. Get out there and play it right now. If you have Game Pass, you got access to Hades 2. Like I said, I recommend you play Hades 1 because it follows the story quite nicely into Hades 2. Lots of returning characters, lots of great moments. You're like, oh, I remember this person. Oh my goodness, and stuff like that. So Hades 2 comes with the highest of recommendations. Play them both, play them all, and play them for hundreds of hours because they're freaking awesome. And you're awesome for making it through another episode of the GX Plus Cast. Make sure you want to be even more awesome. Make sure you're reviewing the podcast wherever you're listening to it, on Spotify, iTunes. Doesn't matter if you're listening, wherever you're listening to it, just drop a little rating. Only takes a second of your time, and it does huge. It does huge for my morale. It makes me very happy to see reviews and stuff like that. So that's awesome. So thank you in advance for that. I also upload all these episodes to the YouTube channel GamerGX Videos on YouTube. You can follow along. Link is in the description. Go over there and subscribe. It's a great place to drop comments. You want to drop a comment on the YouTube? Let me know what movies, all the scary movies and video games. Let me know what you're playing. Let me know what episodes you would like me to do. Maybe that will be the next episode. You never know, man. It's a week-by-week show, so I just kind of go by whatever I'm feeling this week. And this week I wanted to talk about Hades, so I did it. But let me know suggestions as well. You can leave comments on Spotify now as well, so you can do that. And what else do we got? So, yeah, I'm pretty, I don't have anything like planned right now. I'm just going to be riding by the seat of my pants. Probably going to do that PSN episode pretty soon. I know I keep bringing up the rhythm thing. Hopefully I can get back to that. I'll be starting up Silent Hill 2 really soon, so maybe we'll do a review on that one and talk about the differences from the original to the new one. That would be sick. So yeah, there's tons of things I can do. I just don't know which one I want to do next. But there's definitely a lot of topics I want to talk about. I could talk about Xbox because they're just going crazy right now over there. Oh man, so much craziness. Prices keep going up and it's really, really annoying. So yeah, that's the thing. There's always going to be something to talk about with video games. So there we go, everybody. Another episode down. Happy Halloween. If you're listening to this on Halloween, don't eat too much candy. And if you have any Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups, please donate them to me because that's my favorite. That's my all-time favorite. I love Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups so much. They're so good. All right, enough of that. My mouth is watering. So I'll go now, but thank you everybody so much for listening. You the best, and we'll be back again with some more GX Plus Kid.